When it comes to choosing an Airbnb in Oaxaca, one of the biggest concerns is location. Do you want to be in the heart of historic Centro? Or would you rather be further away from the constant buzz of tourists and traffic? What are considered the safer areas or neighborhoods? Is transportation easy to access if you don't have a rental car?
For many travelers, staying close to Centro, for example, offers convenience and walkability, but the neighborhoods outside the historic center of Oaxaca may offer better affordability and local charm. Either way, knowing about the different options for locations is a must.
We made a full video about the safest neighborhoods in Oaxaca, which we'll link in the description below. In this video, we're focusing on everything else you need to know about booking an Airbnb in Oaxaca de Juarez.
Our first tip for renting an Airbnb is to book as far ahead as possible, especially during peak seasons such as Day of the Dead. In our case, we did not have the luxury of booking early, so we ended up having to stay quite a bit outside the center of the city for the first part of our trip, as everything else was already booked out. And this is where the topic of transportation becomes very important.
When it comes to getting around by taxi, it is super easy if you stay within the central zone of the city with the use of the Didi app. Didi is kind of like a combination of DoorDash and Uber. You can order meals and also book actual taxis. However, once you are outside the main city zone, the Didi app no longer lets you book taxis. It only works for ordering food.
Our first Airbnb was outside this Didi taxi zone, but luckily our host connected us with a trusted taxi driver, which made getting around much easier that first week.
As an extra important side note, locals advised us to only grab yellow taxis when out and about, as they are the safest and most reputable option available.
Our first Airbnb was very affordable and had everything we needed for a very comfortable stay. It was a studio with a living room, which was great for movie nights, and a small table for eating or for getting work done. It had a comfy queen-size bed, a full bathroom, and even a very well-equipped kitchen.
It also had a little outdoor patio right by the front door, as well as a shared laundry room to get all our washing done, and a clothesline on their rooftop patio. And there was even a hammock. So of course I had to give it a try. But it didn't quite work out.
Need my margarita and a lot of waves to make this more comfortable.
Another bonus we really liked about this Airbnb were the street vendors. We bought some vegetables and even some delicious tamales. The host was so nice and always ready to help in any way we needed. She recommended a nearby restaurant where we had an awesome, authentic experience.
She also told us about a nearby mall with a Walmart for convenient grocery shopping. And all this was within easy walking distance.
If you are curious about this Airbnb, we left the link in the description below for you. For now, keep watching as we reveal more of our Airbnb tips and experiences.
Once you've figured out the location you want to stay in, it's time to think about amenities. The right amenities can make your stay more comfortable, save you money, and even enhance your Oaxaca experience.
Does the Airbnb have a fully equipped kitchen if you plan to eat in a lot? Is there good Wi-Fi for staying connected? Perhaps you're looking for unique features, such as a cozy outdoor space for enjoying your morning coffee.
Identifying your must-have amenities will help you narrow down your options and ensure a happy stay. With so many amenities to think about, choosing the perfect Airbnb can get overwhelming.
That's why we've created a free Ultimate Oaxaca Airbnb checklist to make your planning super simple, covering everything we share in this video and more.
See the link in the description below. These are the amenities we considered must-haves when we booked our Oaxaca Airbnbs.
Reliable Wi-Fi can be a game changer, especially if you're working remotely, staying connected with family, or just wanting to share your adventures online. Many Airbnbs specify their Wi-Fi speed in the description or in the photos section.
For our long-term stay, we chose a place with 150 megabits per second, and it worked quite well for our needs. 2 laptops and 2 phones running simultaneously without any interruptions or lag. If you don't see Wi-Fi speeds listed, don't hesitate to message the host and ask directly. Reviews can also give you an idea of whether the Wi-Fi there lives up to expectations.
Water may seem like a basic amenity, but in Oaxaca, it's not something to take for granted. Oaxaca has a long-standing water shortage issue due to limited supply and irregular delivery systems. Increased tourism can unintentionally worsen the problem, as water is diverted to meet the demands of visitors who often fail to be conscious of this issue, and as a result, locals can face severe shortages. This really makes mindful water conservation not just good for the environment, but also of critical importance when visiting places like Oaxaca.
So, even though one amenity we looked for was hot water, we want to highly urge all visitors to use water sparingly during their stay in Oaxaca. Simple actions like minimizing shower time, reusing towels, and turning off taps while washing dishes or brushing teeth can go a long way.
Staying close to essential conveniences can make your trip much easier. When choosing an Airbnb, we always look for access to the following. Although there is always the convenience of delivery services, having authentic Oaxacan food within walking distance was a nice bonus for us and more cost-effective.
Whether you're cooking in your Airbnb or just need snacks, proximity to places like local markets or even larger stores is invaluable. Our second Airbnb had this market nearby where we could find lots of produce and, of course, sweetbreads.
Another important convenience for us is a pharmacy. It's always handy to have one nearby for any unexpected health or travel needs. Unlike in the US, where we have so many easily accessible 24-hour pharmacies, Oaxaca's pharmacies may be smaller and have more limited hours.
We were within easy walking distance of a couple pharmacies, local markets, restaurants, and even a local park with fitness equipment.
During our long-term stay in Oaxaca, we actually opted for an Airbnb without air conditioning, as the average temperatures for the time we had planned to be there were the mid to upper 70s. But our choice had unforeseen repercussions that we will talk about later, so keep watching.
Now, if you're planning a long-term stay like we did, there are a few extra amenities worth considering that will make an extended trip much more comfortable.
In Oaxaca, tap water isn't safe to drink, so you'll need access to filtered or bottled water. Or you can buy bottled water at grocery stores. Some Airbnb hosts offer water jugs that can be delivered to your Airbnb, which was a huge convenience for us. Check with your host to see if this is included, and if not, ask if they can recommend a reliable delivery service.
It's important to consider whether you want a washer and dryer on site, or if you're okay with using a nearby laundry service. Our second Airbnb did not have a washer and dryer, but the nearby service we chose even gave us the option to have our laundry picked up and delivered back to us at a very affordable rate. We paid about $12, and our cleaned clothes were even returned nicely folded.
Many Airbnb hosts offer cleaning services, either included or for an additional fee. The place where we stayed provided complimentary cleaning every 2 weeks. It's worth asking your potential host if they offer something similar if nothing is mentioned in the listing.
With so many details to think about, it's easy to miss something important when booking an Airbnb. Our free checklist helps you ask the right questions so you don't run into surprises later.
Download it now from the link in the description below.
Up next, a quick tour of our second Airbnb. But keep watching as we have more tips that could save you time, money, and stress.
So first of all, we're on the second floor, which is a little bit of a adventure for the suitcases, but look at this amazing place. It's not that little. Like, I saw the pictures and I was like, okay, sometimes they try to make it look bigger, but it's actually really spacious. Over here you got your kitchen, a 4-range stove, the refrigerator, lots of counter space. We're gonna have just an amazing time trying to cook Mexican meals and just quick meals, healthy meals, because we don't want to be eating out all the time. Complimentary crema de maguey, so some type of dessert maguey cream. It's from the maguey plant, so maybe a little bit like tequila. We're gonna find that out later on. Spacious sink, get all your washing done, place for your dishes.
And just a couple of short steps away from the kitchen, we've got the living area and a little bit of a work area. So you can see here, there's a pull-out bed. This is actually a place where 2 couples could stay, or a family of 4, that could work. And then the little work area over here, and they've actually got a map of all the local clinics, places where you can get taxis, places of interest, supermercados and tiendas. We've got the internet, which of course, being YouTubers, that's really important to us. This particular place, which if there is 2 couples, has another half bathroom. So that's kind of convenient that people can have bathrooms available. And just through here, we've got some rest and recreation area. There's a hammock and everything. It's really cool.
And then to the other side of the living room, you can come into the master bedroom and look at the ample space. You have the bed, of course, which looks very comfortable. We're gonna find out tonight. But then you have a second access to the patio just right through your master bedroom, so you can access it either way. Super convenient. So over here, you got your television, which I think is a pretty good size for the size of the room. Not quite the 75-inch, which is my preferred size, but perfectly suitable for the bedroom. Over here, you have an actual closet space. We're staying here for the 28 to 30 days, so we're definitely gonna make use of this, and there's just so much ample space here to just iron, get your little extra. They have a little table there. We love this place. Over here is the actual full bathroom. Sink is outside. It comes well stocked with lots of things to start you off with, and shampoo, which I think is, oh my god, I think this lasts. This is gonna last for like an entire month, I think, because we both have short hair, so. But yeah, very spacious for a tiny little place. This doesn't feel so tiny at all. So we absolutely love it.
So before we give you our final important tips, we really need to return to the topic of air conditioning and why it had such a huge impact on our trip.
When we planned our long-term stay in Oaxaca, we thought we had it all figured out. The average temperatures for that time of year were supposed to be in the 70s, so we decided to book an Airbnb without air conditioning. It seemed like a safe choice at the time. But of course, travel loves to surprise you.
What we didn't expect was an unseasonal heatwave, with temperatures climbing into the mid-90s. Suddenly, our decision not to prioritize air conditioning became a real challenge. By the second week, we realized we'd underestimated just how much the heat would impact our stay, and that decision of no AC became one of our hardest lessons learned.
We'd seen listings with portable cooling units using water and ice, so we went to a local Office Depot to pick ourselves up one. But let's just say they're not meant for high heat scenarios. It barely made a difference, so if you see this in an Airbnb listing and are counting on it to keep you cool, just know it did not work for us.
When it became unbearable, we had to temporarily move to an Airbnb with air conditioning for 3 days to escape the indoor heat.
Our taxi is literally pulling up, as we can see in the app. I guess it's moving day.
Time for us to shift our focus for a little bit.
We weren't expecting this, but it is what it is. What can you do except adapt?
The takeaway: always expect to have something unexpected come up when traveling, including drastic weather changes.
If you're considering a trip to Oaxaca or anywhere with potential temperature fluctuations, air conditioning is something you might want to prioritize, even if it seems unnecessary based on the season.
We loved our first 2 Airbnbs and their hosts, and would absolutely recommend them to anyone traveling to Oaxaca, Mexico. But if you are sensitive to the heat, don't rely on a weather forecast. Get yourself a place with heating and air conditioning.
The Airbnb we moved to was in Reforma. The host was also super attentive and very nice. This unit was the most modern home we rented in Oaxaca.
Aside from the very well-equipped kitchen with a great-sized fridge we could fill, there was a mini living room, a good-sized bathroom, plenty of space for your clothes and suitcases, and a comfortable king bed with a very nice large screen TV. What's the one Airbnb amenity you can't live without? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you are finding this video helpful so far, please give it that thumbs up. Before we wrap up, here are a few final tips.
Take your time and be thorough. It's easy to skim and miss important details. Carefully check the pictures, descriptions, and reviews to spot any deal breakers. Or maybe find something that makes you realize it's the perfect choice.
Focus on recent reviews to get the most up-to-date info. Reviews often confirm things like cleanliness, hot water availability, and you might even find bonus tips about nearby conveniences or hidden gems. Reviews can also reveal how attentive and reliable the host is, a key factor in making your stay stress-free.
Consider superhosts. Superhosts usually offer reliable quality, but newer hosts aren't always a bad choice. Every superhost started somewhere, right? Just be cautious with new listings that have vague reviews and strict cancellation policies. We personally decided not to take the risk, even when a listing looked great.
Speaking of cancellation policies, they are definitely worth paying attention to. If your plans are locked in, a 48-hour cancellation window might not matter. But if you're more spontaneous or your plans often change, a more flexible policy could be the deciding factor when choosing an Airbnb.
Although accessibility wasn't a concern for us personally, we noticed a few things during our stays that could be helpful for travelers with mobility needs. Most homes in Oaxaca, and even some hotels, don't have elevators or easy access to upper floors. Sidewalks and streets in Oaxaca can also be uneven or in poor condition, making it more challenging to get around.
We also noticed that some properties had very narrow doorways, so if you need extra space or features like accessible bathrooms, it's worth confirming those details with the host ahead of time.
Remember, it's the little details that can make or break your stay. But we've got you covered with our free Airbnb checklist.
It's packed with essential tips from this video to help you stay organized and take the stress out of booking. Download it now.
In the end, choosing your perfect Airbnb in Oaxaca is all about knowing your priorities, doing your research, and staying flexible. Planning ahead makes it easier to find a place that fits your needs. But even last-minute trips, like ours, can lead to amazing stays. And who knows, you might just fall in love with Oaxaca like we did.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our little adventure here, and we will see you again in our next Takeoff Getaway.